So, so in previous videos, said let's build a wall. I've recorded this tutorial about 5 times now, and every time I cock it up, make a mistake, or do something stupid. And it don't work as well as what I do, or what I expected, or just it crashes. So we're going to try this one last time, and hopefully this time it works. So what do we start with? We start with a default cube. Does not look like a brick. What we need to do is we will go to scene settings, we'll take units, we will turn the units into millimeters. I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as I can so I'm not wasting your time. If you do have any questions, pop them in the comments. I'll try answer them. Might be of help. So, what size is a UK house brick? It is 250 millimeters by 102.5 by 65 millimeters. So 65 millimeters being the thinnest, we will take that on the y-axis of 65 millimeters. 215 millimeters on the Z, no, on the X. 250, 215, make sure you click things. So we're looking kind of like a brick from the front in the width and kind of like a brick on the side. But the Z depth is definitely not a brick, and that wants to be 102.5. I believe 102.5. And that, to me, looks just like a Charlie. Could go yeet that through someone's greenhouse. Maybe we'll do that one day. Throw that through a greenhouse. So we've got a brick. Right, so we want to go to front orthographic view so that we know that if I grab it on the X, if we go to the right, we're going positive. If we're going to the left, we're going negative. So once we've got a brick, we need to shift add. What do I need to add? I need to add a curve. I need to add a path. It's probably not the best way of doing it, but it's the way I do it. Just because. So we grab these two vertices on the left hand side because these are negative ones, get rid of them. We don't need them. Positive ones, we can get rid of this one because we don't need that one, we just need one. Then we're going to put snapping on the face, grab it and snap it to the face of the brick so that it is literally up against the brick. If we go back to front orthographic view, then we will shift duplicate this, rotate it on the y-axis by 90, minus so that it's pointing up into the sky. Then press Ctrl A and rotation, and before we forget, always make sure whenever you scale anything in object mode, if you scaled it in edit mode, you wouldn't have to worry about this, but if you scale it in object mode, make sure that these here are all 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Otherwise, what will happen is when we add an array modifier, and I want it to go a fixed count of 1 brick, that is fine, because it knows that the brick is that size. But as we're not using that, we'll be using a constant offset. If I want, there's 1000 millimeters, that's definitely not 1000 millimeters because it is only 322 millimeters wide. And if we take it out, it will be like 2000, yeah, just stupid amounts. So if I press Ctrl A, scale, now it's scaled it, that one's disappeared, it is somewhere over here, it is 1000 millimeters away. So yeah, we'll remove this just to avoid confusion for now. So we've got the path here on the X positive and a path here on the Z negative, or positive up, but down, but negative. I don't quite understand how Blender works with that. I think that's actually positive. But anyway, I digress again, which means this is going to take a lot longer than it should do. So I will Alt-H to bring everything back. Go into this one, tab, grab, and then snap it down on the Z to this face. So now we've got the height of a brick and the height of a brick, which actually, to be fair, is not exactly what we need to do, but we'll address that shortly. So we've got that one and that one and that one. We will rename this brick itself. This one, which is the X, I press slash on the on the keyboard next to the shift key. So this is X controller, X path, and then that means that this one is the Z path. Great. So now we've got an X path, a Z path, and a brick. So the next step for this is making sure that what we do is we need to add an array modifier, and we want constant offset. And let's see if we can do this in one take with no issues, because when I've done this so many times, I end up placing things in the wrong places. We can sort that out eventually, but we need a fixed count of 2, and we want to be a constant offset, not of 1,000, but we need to go 1/2 of a brick, which bring up the transforms. We're going 1/2 a brick in the X direction, which is 215. So 215 divided by 2, and then we're going up in the Z axis. No. You see, I'm about to do it again. We don't want to do that. We actually want to go up in the Z axis of... No, actually, yeah, alright. Control Z. And then we want to go across in the X-axis. No, we've gone across in the X-axis. We want to go up in the Z-axis by 103 millimeters, which is the height of the brick, plus 10 centimeters to give the mortar 10 millimeters, sorry, or whatever. And then another another full brick. So it wants to be 103 plus 10 plus 103. 216 mil and 107 mil in the X. That should give us a staggered brick. As you can see, it is a staggered brick, which is bollocks, because I actually only wanted to bring it up by what were it, 112? I forget, 103. 103 in the Z, so 113 in the Z. Now we've got a staggered brick. So when we array this up in the Z, it'll be this brick, then this brick, and so on, as we're going up the Z, which I can show you here if I just do this. Now we're basically arraying this along in, well, we're making a set of steps basically, which is actually a great way to make steps, but another tutorial. So we only want 2 because we only require this brick and this brick for it to work. This becomes your base brick. So if we select everything, Control Shift M, sorry, new collection, call this base brick. And for some strange reason, I don't know why it does this, but if I just select this one, and not the light, that one, and then press right click, unlink it so that it just drops it all into this base brick. So now we're working with inside the base brick area. What we do need to do is go address the Z path. So if I go into tab, into edit mode, we need to take this one, grab it in the Z and snap it to this top face here. And then what we can do is take this one and grab it in the X and snap it to this face here, grab X, snap it to this face. Now this path and this path are just the right length and size to fit just these 2 bricks. So now we've got 2 staggered bricks. What we need to do also is shift add a cube, because this is what I forgot last time. We've got a massive cube. Now we press shift Y and scale Y on the on the Y axis. Scale Y and bring it down until we see the bricks clip. And we're roughly, I want to say, scale Y. I mean, in theory, if we really wanted to get pedantic about it, it's 65 millimeters wide, so we only want it to be 55 millimeters wide. And that gives us 5 mil on this side sticking out, and 5 mil on this side sticking out. If we make it 45 mil, we've got 10 mil or a centimeter sticking on both sides. I think that looks much better. And then what we need to do is scale shift Y so that we're not scaling on the Y axis, bring it all the way down till we're roughly, say, about there. Go back into front orthographic view, and then we can grab it and bring it up just slightly. Press and hold down Control to stop the snapping from happening, or press and hold down Control if you don't have this magnet blue, and then that will make the snap happen. And we want to place it somewhere around about there, but to be fair, it doesn't right matter. Press Control A, scale, so it scales that. This is already scaled 1 to 1, 1 to 1. Tab into edit mode. Grab these 4 vertices on this side here, and then grab them on the X and snap them to the side of the brick. And that will, I missed the one at the bottom, didn't I? Yep. Select them all, grab X onto this side, grab these ones, grab X to this side, and then grab the 4 ones at the bottom, grab Z, and then snap them to the bottom, and then the top ones, grab Z, and snap those to the top as well. And you'll probably be wondering what that part is about. Let's rename it. This is now called the mortar, or the cement, or whatever in your country you call them, the glue that holds the bricks together. So as you can see, in between the bricks we've got a centimetre of mortar, cement, glue, whatever. But that's that. Just to make sure, press A, Control A, scale. Everything is scaled. Right. Now we've done that, we need to go into the brick. So we'll shift click the brick. We will shift click the mortar. We will also go into wireframe mode and shift click the one on the X-axis and shift click the one on the Z, not the Z-axis. We'll just go on the X-axis for now. When we go into tab into edit mode, now we have this selected and these selected. So if I press, does it not work like that when you've got curves selected? No, it does not. That's a bit weird. So we'll go with those. We'll select that there, and then we'll select the box end. Yeah, okay, we can't do it with just the curve. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So we'll just start with the curves. So we press tab on this one, we click this one, Control H and hook it to a new object. And then this new object, which is an empty, we will call the X length, because that will control the X length. And then I will come out of edit mode and I will lock the Y and the Z axis. So when I do grab this controller, grab it. What did I actually just... okay. I did it to the path. Stupid me. I want to do it to the controller itself, and then we want the Z path, press tab, click the top one, Control H, hook to new object again, Control H, new object, and we will call this one the Z length, just so we remember what they are. And then come out of edit mode, select this one, and then lock this, or place it on, I don't know why it's not on 0, but hey, we'll place it on the 0, it's already hooked to that. That's on 0, that's on 0. Then we go into edit mode of the path. This, for some reason, I don't know why it's done that. It's on the Z, 0, 0. We'll just check this one to make sure it's on the zeros. We'll check this one to make sure it's all zeroed out as well. Yep, okay, so that's fine. So now we've got that one, we want to lock that to the Y and the X, basically, because then what we can do is we can grab this one. I can't move it left or right, but I can move it up or down, and as you can see, I'm pointing at the screen for some reason. The path goes with it. And then the same with this one. When we go on the, I can't move it anywhere else but the X direction, and the path is getting followed as well, is dragging that along. But now we've got these hooks, what we need to do is we select the mortar, tab into edit mode, select the 4 vertices on the X positive side, and then Control H, no good. We need to select the empty first, then select the mortar mesh, then go into edit mode, and with these 4 vertices selected on this side, Control H, hook to selected objects, which is going to hook that to this. So if I grab this now, you can see it's stretching the mortar with it. And then the same for the Z. So we click the mortar, we click the empty, and then we click the mortar again just to make sure it's the mortar that we've got selected. Press tab, and then now what we need to do is the top vertices. And then what we can do is Control H, and then because this is already hooked to the X one, when you press Control H, the menu will look different because you can then assign the hook to the X, remove the hook from the X. We don't want to do any of them. We don't want to reset them, recenter them, or anything like that. All we want to do is hook them to the selected object so that when I tab out of edit mode and I grab this one on the Z, it will stretch it on the Z, and when I grab this one, it will stretch it on the Y, X, whatever. Um, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, just to bring them all back down to shape. Right, that's fine. So we now have the wall completely. That's done. That's done. Completely finished base brick. So then what we can do, we'll go into material view. We'll select the mortar, and just for simplicity's sake, I will give it a yellow colour. Better, you can texture it yourself if you want, or I can later on. I'll probably texture it a little bit better than what it is, but we'll just use red for the bricks. So now we have got mortar and we have got bricks. Right. So now we've got that. What do we need? Basically, we need to be able to go up in the height and go across in the length. So we select the bricks themselves. Come into here, we've already got the array that creates this one, so we'll just shift duplicate that one. And we'll put that one above this one. I don't know why I did it this way around in the original, and then we'll shift duplicate it one more time so it's underneath. And now as you can see, we've got the steps and stairways going on again, because we're going 2 on the Z, 2 on the Z again. So now what we actually need to do is this one, we're going to call the X, so we'll go on the fit curve, and we'll use the X curve, and on the distance on the Z we'll go 0, and on the distance on the X, we'll just turn all these off for now so they're not confusing us, apart from this one. No, in fact, not this one. On the X we want to go 215 plus 10, so it is 225. And then when we turn that on, we will see nothing happened, and that is quite simply because nothing needs to happen, because the curve is long enough to fit this one brick in and not a second brick. Then we can leave that one on now. With this one, we want to set this to fit length, fit curve, sorry, and then we will go on the Z path. And then with this one, instead of distance X, we want to go distance Z, and the Z is 103 or 113 millimeters, which will put us up inside this brick, which was the offset brick. So what do we need to do? We need to go up by 113 times 2. So then that way, it is one brick high, a second brick high, with the sandwich of mortar between it. But as you can see, nothing's happened again. When we turn it on, nothing happens again. And then when we put this one on, well, it looks how it was before. So, now we've got this. This is literally the base. So Control S. Where would I want to save it? I'll just do it here. Where's Brickchuck? Brickchuck will overwrite that one because I ruined it last time. So now I've completely saved this. Like you should do every time you change something. Just Control S, Control S, Control S, Control S, because you never know when it's going to crash. Right, how long have we been going? 20 minutes. We're actually getting somewhere with this one today. So now, I want my wall, let's say, we'll change back from millimeters to meters. I want, say, a 5 meter high wall. I select the Z one, and as you can see it's 0.16 meters, so I'll press 5, boom. Got a 5 meter tall little staircase of madness. But as you can see, as I come up to the top here, 5 meters will bring us to here, but because it's allowing for this brick here, and then this one has the automatic array on it which doesn't care for the height, it will always put this because it's over halfway. So if I grab this just on the Z just slightly, as we pop in halfway through that brick it disappears. So all we need to do is bring it up, and then snap that to this face here, but because it's an array modifier it generally doesn't work very well, so we just bring it just to it, or if you really want to be pedantic about it, just bring it up just slightly so we've got about a centimetre just sitting over the top. Great. So now how long do we want the wall? I'm going to say I want it to be 10 metres in the X direction. 10 metres, boom, we have a wall. And then, again, this doesn't work very well because you just need to modify it just slightly. So we'll grab it just until it's on the edge, because generally you wouldn't have mortar sticking off the edge of the bricks unless you have another brick. Right, so there we go. we have a wall. But as I say, this is the base brick, so what we'll do is now we will duplicate this. Duplicate collection, minimize it, that's the base brick, we'll call this front wall. Front wall, there we go, that's the front wall. And then what we'll do is we will duplicate the front wall, duplicate collection, and we'll call this sidewall. Sidewall. And then, as you can see, at the bottom here, we start off with a piece of mortar, brick, mortar, brick, mortar, brick. On the left-hand side, we start off with brick, mortar, brick, mortar, brick, mortar. There, brick, mortar. Try saying that fast when you're drunk. So, what do we need to do now? Is the question. We go to the sidewall because we need to rotate this, and what we want to do is select all the objects on that, and then come to the top and set that to 3D cursor, so that we're spinning around the origin of the 3D cursor, which is halfway through this brick, or roughly thereabouts, and then rotate Z90. Notice how it does nothing. Basically because, I'll just hide the front wall so I don't mess up with those settings. This one here is locked to the Z, which is fine, but this one is locked on the X, so it will not move anywhere else. It will not let you move it on the Y. So now what we need to do is we click lock on the X, take off the Y. If we rotate Z90 now, see it's just a whole bunch of messed up. So if we actually just take them all off, rotate, by selecting select objects, rotate on the Z. See how now we can rotate this around. So we rotate 90, minus that. Oh yeah, and then press Z, and then press minus again so that it goes this way. Now we have a problem. It is brick, brick, mortar, mortar, brick, 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 mortar, 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 brick, 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 mortar, mortar, mortar. Basically, that's because this needs flipping. So if I scale this on the Y by -1, as you can see, it is still brick, mortar, mortar, brick, 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 mortar, 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 brick. Control A scale, and then it flips it the other way. And then this one, because it's hooked directly to this, it's no good. So what I now need to do is grab this on the Y. I just deleted it. Grab on the Y. You notice how it shrinks it because the path is off to the right at the minute. But if we bring it back through, it'll start building the wall again, and it's the hook's actually way off. So that's probably actually the bad way to do it. Again, we're doing it all wrong because I didn't want to scale it at all. Realistically, what I need to do is right click, set origin, right click, where is it? Oh, it's because I've got the empty selected. Right click, set origin, center of mass, but again it's only going to go to here, stupid me, because these aren't real bricks. So what could I do? Select this one, just the brick wall itself. We will scale it on the Y by -1, then grab it on the Y and then clip it to this wall here, which won't work very well, so we'll grab it on the Y and we'll clip it to the face of this wall, and then we will grab it on the X and clip it to the face of this wall here, and then we'll do the same with this. Grab it on the Y, but you see it's going all kinds of messed up because it's just not happy, because it's still hooked to the object, which I can't quite understand because this hasn't changed. So this should, I see, because the empty isn't right up against this edge, it's slightly across. So excuse me. We've already got the size. Basically, I'm happy with the size of this wall. What I can do now is literally delete that. Nope, don't do that. stupid idea. We need to actually go into this and apply all the array modifiers. Probably better if I'd have done this in the first place anyway, but apply all the array modifiers, go into this one, apply all the array modifiers, so that then these are now, yeah, it'd have been better if I'd done it this way. Again, it's another one of the mess ups, but it's actually going a lot better than what it did last time. It's because then we could have done this and then just flipped it directly over on top of itself. Set origin to center of mass. So yeah, I could have literally just done rotate x 90 as long as it was to medium point. Rotate x 90 180 and it had just flipped my wall straight over for me, which is perfect. So now what I can do with this one is apply the hook, and then the same with the mortar on this side, literally apply the hooks, so then this now stays this shape. I can delete these hooks. As I say, I'm happy with the size of the wall. If you're not happy with the size of the wall, make sure you size your wall first before you do. And then you want to grab this one and this one. In fact, no, just this one. Go to the end of the wall here, grab it on the x-axis, snap it to the face, and then grab it on the X and just bring it in until it's roughly about there. I mean, in all brutal honesty, I think I actually want it on the X by 0 and it would look fine. And then grab this one on the X by 0, I think. So I put that to X0. Yeah, for now we'll put them on the zeros. And then this one wants to go on the Y by 0, no? No, okay, so what we want to do is grab this by the Y. Again, this is just stupid mistakes I've made as we're going through, which is causing me to have to fix things. The same with this one, we'll just grab that on the X, make sure it's snapped to the end of the brick there, and then we'll just scale it. In fact, did I want to do that? Does that look okay? It looks fine to me. What have I messed up though? Ah, it's because I've just scaled it down, haven't I? Yeah, okay, Control Z. It's, that one's not sticking up anywhere near as much as the other one, but it does come down to the bottom, and then there's down to the bottom. So if I grab this one, it should be identical to be fair, but it's not. Grab Z, and then snap it to the face there. Grab Z. Is that... Okay, we'll do it this way then. Delete, delete. What we would have done is, we have made this wall. Grab X. So let's just pretend for the sake of arguments, grab X. We've just finished this one wall. Grab X and we want to snap it to that, and then that should be snapped directly to this one as well. Yep, that's fine. So once we've done that, what we could have done is grab this and then grab this and then pressed Control P so that we're parenting the mortar to the wall. So if I grab the wall, wrong way around, I want the brick wall, Control P, object, then when I grab the brick wall itself, where did it go? Where did you go? Grab. You make no sense, Blender. Grab the mortar, grab the brick, Control P, object, looping parents, okay. Alt P, clear parent, Alt P, clear inverse, Control P, object. Right, so now when I grab the brick wall, the mortar will move with it. Right, that is perfect. So, let's just focus on the brick, go to front view, and then we'll come down to the bottom here. And just to make it easier, we'll grab this on the Y, grab the brick, grab Y. Why will you not move on the Y? Oh, yeah, Y is towards me, X, grab X. Grab the wall, grab X. Bring it along so it's roughly halfway in between. We can always, well, we will sort this out later on. But then if I go back to this one and put 3D cursor and then select both of them, shift duplicate them, rotate Z 90, it turns it around, and then because this is in the sidewall, we can get rid of that one, we can get rid of that one because we no longer need the paths, we don't need the lengths, and what have I actually duplicated here? Don't tell me I've done it to the base. Okay, I have done it to the base, but there's no modifiers on them, so I'll get rid of the X path and Z path. You won't want to do that. You leave your base brick alone. So anyway, I've got brick 2, and then this front wall here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and that out of there. This one, drop it in front wall, drop this one in side wall. So now I've got brick in the side wall, and I have got brick in the front wall. But where's that mortar? Okay. Which one's that? That's that mortar, so that wants to go in with there, and then that one wants to go in there. Now that fixes all that. So when I hide this one, that wall disappears. When I hide this one, this wall disappears. And as you can see, again, we're back to this brick, brick, mortar, mortar, brick, brick, mortar, mortar. But if I click on this one, on this brick, and then rotate it by the X by 180, it has flipped it over. Then if I grab it on the Y, just drag it way across, then go to the top of the wall, grab it by the Z, and I want to snap it to the top of this wall here, so that this point is as high as this point, in theory. Yep. And then I want to grab it on the Y and just hover somewhere over the actual bricks, not the mortar itself, but the bricks. So you could zoom in, grab Y on. That's my bad. Grab Y. No. Rotate Y 90. 180. There we go. That's much better. And we grab it on Z, and we snap it to the roof. Now we've got the brick, mortar, mortar, brick, brick, mortar, 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 brick, 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 mortar, 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 mortar. And then basically it's just a matter of lining it up. Grab on the X till it's lined to here. For some reason, this time round, I'm getting a weird gap here. I have not any idea why. Probably something to do with this array modifier here. Then I'm happy with that there. Basically, that's now clipped that to that. That's clipped that to that. To hide that little yellowness going on there, just scale it on the Y very slightly until not the Y, on the X for this one, until it's just inside, and then this mortar, scale this one on the Y, so it's just clipping through the other bricks, so roughly about there. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if we then go into matcap view, random, we have got a purple, purple, blue, purple, purple, and a light blue, basically meaning that they're four separate objects. So what do we need to do now? We'll select this wall, we'll add a modifier, and we will add a Boolean modifier. I want to put 3 holes in this wall and 3 holes in this wall, for example. So I will just shift duplicate those, hide them, so that we don't have to worry about them. Then select the mortar, select this brick wall, and then select the mortar with shift click, and then come back and select this brick that's got all these. Control L, copy modifiers. Now every one of these has got the same modifiers going for them, and for some reason, it's because I've scaled them on, yeah, okay. Scale on the X. In fact, what I can do is just press 1. Oh no, okay. Scale on the X. On the Y. Even though it's because I've rotated it, but anyway, that's fine. So we just want it so that it sits generally generally the right size. And if I press 1 on this now, it should just snap it kind of alright. But anyway, again, there's a bit of a cock up. You just gotta deal with them as they turn up. Basically that's because I had it on this. If I put it to medium point, then scale this on the X. Just slightly. It's for some strange reason it's still yet because the A, right click, set origin, center of mass. There we go. I forget to do this. So this one, scale on the Y just slightly until we're kinda in where we want to be, and then scale this one on the X just so that we're in where we want to be. Kinda with them, you want them to clip through each other just, so then you can't really tell the difference between where one starts and one ends. So when we go to material view, as you can see, from a material standpoint, we can see that it is a brick wall, despite the big gap there, or the big gap here. It's probably something to do with the sizings, the shapes, or the array modifier that I'd put on. This may want to just be a little bit further back without the 10cm gap. It'd have looked perfect then, to be fair. It looks like it's just one too many 10cm. Which is probably my bad. I'll go back and watch this video. Well, we're probably gauging on nearly half an hour now. Yeah, just gone. But we're in a better place anyway. So now, Shift Add a cube. Grab this on the X. Scale it on the Z. Grab it on the Z. Then focus in with the period key. Go underneath. Grab Z so that we're clipping it to the bottom here. Then press Control. In fact, no, I won't press Control there. I'll press 2. Select this edge. Control B. Bevel it. Press C to clamp it, and then scroll. You notice how we've got this weird egg shape. That's because we haven't scaled it. Again, these are why you should scale them. So undo that. Control A. Scale. Tab. Control B. Bevel it again, and now we get a nice archway. Then what I want to do, what you can do actually, is while you're in edit mode, if you really wanted to, Shift Add, say like a cylinder, and do the same inside the same material. But I don't do this. Sometimes that might be a bit better. But we'll come out of edit mode. We'll Shift A. We'll add a cylinder. We'll rotate on X by 90, Control A, rotation. Always remember to do these kind of things as you're going along. Grab X, say about there, grab Z, and we'll place it roughly about there, and then we'll Shift Add, what shape do we want this time? We've done a plane, we've done the cube, we've done dodgy shape, cylinder. We'll go with a torus. We'll rotate that on the X as well by 90, Control A, rotation. Grab this on the X, bring it over here, grab it on the Z, we'll place that roughly about there. And that's that part done. And then what we could do is on this side, we'll Shift Add Mesh Cube, and we'll scale this on the Y. Control A, scale just to make sure it's right, grab Y, and we'll bring it along halfway, grab Z, bring it up, then Shift duplicate it twice, add a mirror modifier, scale it down on the Y, so that it's like so, scale it on the Z, so it's like so, Control A, scale, tab into edit mode, grab on the Y, so we're bringing it out, and then we'll just tell the mirror modifier we actually want to go on the Y, not the X. That's kinda alright, but then we tab into it and grab on the Y just to centralize it just a little bit. Press 3 to go into side view, press 9 to come to this side, press period to bring it to center. Am I happy with that yet? But I would go on Z up to there, grab this on the Z, say to about there. So then what we've got is here, we've got two cubes inside the same object, one cube inside its own object. One cylinder, one torus, and one doorway, we'll call it. Right, so next, I'm only going to do it for one object, which I'll do it for the doorway. Shift duplicate it, press slash with the question mark above it next to the shift key on the right hand side of your keyboard, press tab into edit mode, face mode, delete this one and this one, X these, just the faces. Now we've ended up with just a crappy little doorway. Add a modifier, add a solidify modifier. If it's -1 when we go up, it'll always bring it in. If it's +1, it will always take it to the outside. Best way to see this would be coming back out of here, and we will give this one the same material as this, but keep it like so. Go into wireframe mode so you can maybe see better. Basically, where is it? Solidify modifier. If we're on full 1, as you can see maybe here, the original archway is just on the inside of this, on the inside, and then -1, the archway is now transformed to the outside here, and then the thickness is just the thickness of whether it's going to go in or out or in. Now to me, that's blagging my eye. Ah, yeah, no, it is actually doing that. So I actually want to go outwards, so then it transforms with a better shape. So we'll just go out by say 0.01, just to give it a little bit of depth. And then we'll go above here and we will just scale it in on the X, is it? No, on the Y. We'll scale it in on the Y until we're roughly, say, there. Control A, scale, and that'll do. So now, when we come out into material view, all we've got is this little thing around the outside of the door. What I'm going to do as well, just for sake of it, shift add a plane, scale a plane by 5, maybe 10. That'll do. Grab Y. Say about there, grab it on the X, bring it to here, and then we'll look underneath, grab it on the Z to the brick wall itself, and then that way it hides this mess here, which you could always lift that up a little bit, but I don't want to do that. So, what are we actually doing? We'll get to the point now. Oh, crap. I've actually tab into this, select this, press L to select the linked, right click, separate by selection, tab out of this, some point thank you, and we'll just get rid of the solidify so it's just a plane, and it's still attached to the floorway there, but now it's no longer attached to the doorway, and we'll change the material, unlink it to green, just so that we can tell the difference between the floor and the brick walls and everything else. So now what I did last time, I did the next step that we're gonna do before I did this step, and it broke it, because I forgot that when we go into the brick wall, we've applied these booleans in such a way and hidden them from viewports so we don't crash Blender, because it don't like it. So what we do is we select this, we select the doorway, we select this, we select the circle way, we select this, we select the weird little torusy archway, and then what we do is we select the mortar on this one as well, and then ensure we have the brick wall selected, press Ctrl L, link copy modifiers. Now we've copied the modifiers to the mortar, so the cylinder, the cube, and the object torus, and so on and so forth are all in it. If I press this, or this will go. It just don't like it. Even my computer's crap, or Blender just don't like computing stuff like that. So now what we need to do is we select this one, and we select this one. And then we do the same again. So we then shift click, take the mortar, shift click, make sure we've got the brick selected, Control L, copy modifiers, happy days. So everything has now been copied across. This is an array, that's an array, and so on and so forth. If I just hide the bricks and go into this one, and I can turn this one on, this one on, and this one on, and then as you can see with this now we've got the orange outlines around everything. So if I was to hide this, big hole, Alt H, but if I was to do that to the brick, I'm not going to click it because I've done it before, it does hate it. So while we've got the brick selected, tab A, you'll notice how each one is a single brick. Now you can leave it like this if you want and wait for Blender to uncrash when you do apply the booleans to this, Sometimes it works, I suppose, sometimes it doesn't. Bear in mind, you'd maybe want to build a fourth wall and a third wall and other bits and pieces before saying it's done. I'm just doing it from this kind of view. I'll show you some pictures in a minute of the final thing, but press A just to select them all. You don't have to, I suppose. Select by loose parts. But is that what I want to do? Yes, 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 by loose parts. Press tab when we come out. All of these bricks are all selected, so while the bricks are all selected, press Control Shift M, new collection, and call them bricks. Send them to the bricks, which, if I remember rightly, it's going to have done that whole dodgy thing again, where it sent them as a linked. Yeah, as you can see, it's put them in bricks, but it's linked them. So if I right click unlink, sometimes it disappears, sometimes it doesn't. But now they're unlinked. It's only just started doing that for some reason. There must be something I've changed somewhere. But these are the bricks. These are the bricks that go into the side wall, I believe. Because we have the mortar and yeah, because the bricks are still there. So this wants to go into. No, this is the front wall, is it? Let's hide this. Yeah. Right. Okay. I've just done it a bit weird. That's now the front wall. That's the side wall. Anyway. So we take the bricks, slap these into the side wall. And then that's the cube for the doorway, that's the cube for the outer edge, this is the cube for these. They're basically all gone into this collection here. So I want to take this cube, this cube, this cube, this cube, this cube, this cylinder, and the torus, and I'm literally just going to drag them and put them in base brick for now, and then rename this to cutters. So that we know that they're all the booleans that the wall's going to have. So now, the reason why I put these in the bricks anyway is so I can right click this, select objects, so I have all the objects selected, all the bricks on this one wall. Right click, set origin, origin center of mass, so each brick now has its origin within itself. Come down to the modifiers and then select one of the bricks just to make sure we have it selected, and then Control L. Copy modifiers, it will hang for a second or two, but I didn't want to do that. I need to actually turn them on first. Now you'll notice nothing happens because I've got this brick selected. Now the reason why I'm doing it this way, when I press Control L and modifiers, it's going to copy all the modifiers across to all the bricks. So all these modifiers have been turned on. All these modifiers are now turned on for all bricks. And the reason why I make them in such a way is to say, partly because it crashes, secondly because now if I hide this cutter, we have a hole straight through the brick. So if I press on the Alt H, I can grab this cutter, grab Z. It'll be a little slow, but I can grab it down, click. It will eventually think about moving down. As long as you can hear me, we should be okay. It's frozen. There we go. So it's moved down, and if I hide it this time, the hole moved with it. And it's cut through all the bricks nicely. Hide this one. Hide this one. We have got all different shapes cut through the wall with complete 100% laser cut accuracy, which is great. So then what we need to do is, just to recap, select the bricks, select the mortar, select the bricks, tab into edit mode, right click, separate, loose parts. Now we've got 2,000 and odd bricks, or another 1,000 bricks, or thereabouts. Which actually, to be fair, don't look like so many bricks, but again, I don't know why. Tab, right click, set origin, center of mass, so it brings all the bricks to their center of mass. Then for which brick do we have? We have this bottom left hand side brick. We click this one, we click this one. We don't need to turn this one on because we don't have anything on it, but it's there as a spare. You can always put more in, make sure you've got plenty of them, and you just have them turned off when you put your object on them. And then do the same again, so I will press M. That's why. Shift M moves them as linked. M moves them as move. So we'll call these ones bricks as well. Um, and this time it's called bricks.01, and we can pull this up into front wall, so it's with its mortar, and this is with its mortar. So when we hide them, it takes everything away, and then because the bricks there, we can select all the objects. These are all turned on now for these cubes. Control L, copy modifiers. Again, it hangs for a second. Hide this brick, hide this brick. Then we click on this one. We'll just click on one random brick. Control L, copy modifiers, and now we cut straight through. So as you can see, what I did was with this one, I duplicated it, gave it a solidify modifier, so that now I can change the thickness. If I don't like this little line here, I just bring the offset just slightly in so you can't see it, or I can bring it in completely negative, and then that is built on the inside of the wall, so the wall width of the hole, and then it has the extras added onto it, and then you have the step here. I'm not a fan of having the step there because I export this out to Unreal to make a building, and also you get that weird keyway going on. It's just the nature of the way that the things cut, I suppose. So bring it just slightly in by pressing hold and shift, so that we're just under 1. Oh, it's not very sensitive. 0.9999, 0.9. There we go. So now you don't have the clipping and the weirdness. Obviously on the inside you have the clipping and the weirdness, So that's that. Basically, we have built a brick wall that is indefinitely sized because you can move it with the the hooks for as long as you like, as far as you want. Do not do it the length and breadth of the UK or Land's End to John O'Groats. Blender does not like that many bricks, especially when you do it 50 meters tall as well. My original idea was to try and run a brick wall across the size of America, running them between America and Mexico, and saying Trump built a wall. Trump can't build a wall. Trump can't build a wall that good, and Blender can't build a wall as good as Trump could build the wall. So don't do that. Bad idea. Um, so now what else can we do? Basically, we've got a doorway. We could build a door, put a doorway on it, put some rigid body constraints on there, and it's an actual door. If I press Alt H, what I can do with this one, because it's already been cut, I mean it's up to you. I leave them on until the last second, and then what you do is you just apply them, or because I export them into Unreal, it automatically applies them for me anyway. When you export to FBX, it applies them as well. So I just leave it, shift duplicate it. I did not have hold of that. Shift duplicate this one, right click to keep it in the exact same place, scale it, and wait for Blender to crash, or think. Scale it on the white, bring it in, grab this one, hide it, scale it on the Y. I'm not going to bother insetting it or doing anything weird. Basically, all I'm going to do is, not insetting it, sorry, giving it solidify, taking its faces off or anything. I'm just going to give it the same colour as the mortar. So then now it has mortar. And then tab into edit mode. You might want to give it actually more vertices. I actually like the look of it when it's like that. Just select the two outside faces like so. Control A, scale outside of edit mode. Inset them just slightly. And then this face here, we'll click plus, and then we will assign it. So now we have the yellow and the white, which is great. Then on the faces, scale them just on the x-axis. No, is it the y? Yeah, the y, sorry. Sorry, no, I want to press I to inset them first and then left click so that it's identical placed. Then scale it on the y so that it's coming just slightly. Press Control I and then click the yellow material and assign that so that the inside edge gets the yellow material again. Control I to invert the selection back to the faces again. Go to this one, make sure you click Assign. Click the plus symbol to give it its own thing, and then give it glass. And then what you'll notice is because we're in material view, it'll just be a dodgy thing, and also because we're in cycle mode, we want to be in cycles. Otherwise, it's just going to look shit. Sorry, but it's going to look shit. Going to render view. We've got now an opaque window. It's almost like a bathroom window. So then we come to material. See, we're doing this digression again, but I feel that we're what 55 minutes in. Not actually done too bad. We can bring the roughness down. Roughness down. Now, when we're inside our house, view mode, line navigation, walk navigation. I could be up against this wall here doing my washing. Just looking outside at the world. Look at my grass. Look at my grass. It's nice and green. Nice and green. Yeah, so unhide this. We've got the doorway. We'll hide that one. We've got the weird circular window. I don't know what kind of house has that. Maybe you want to have again glass, but instead of glass on that you could put a clock handle, clock faces. That's how my mind works. I'm seeing a clock right now. What I did last time actually was had this as a stained glass effigy. The centre there was just a brick, so it was a brick centre with stained glass around the outside. It looked pretty cool. And then two top windows and a nice living room window there. Basically, you get yourself a nice little wall. So what I need to do now is show you what I ended up doing, which is on the desktop, I believe. Is it complex? No, don't tell me. Yeah, I didn't want to open that. That's a blend file. Images, house one. There we go. So I will go into this mode. If you're still here, thanks for watching, by the way. It's been a pleasure trying to teach something. I'm crap, sorry. Yeah, so there we go. That's the house in thingy mode. Matcap, random. As you can see, each brick has got its own thing. And that's the surrounds that I made on the doorways. I didn't actually put a base on this one. I deleted the bottom face first before putting the solidify modifier on, and then that's the circle window there. I don't think I have one saved with the other one, but then when you materialize it, you end up with the brick wall, and then if you're inside, you've got the surround, this, and all this. That's a black hole, by the way. Kind of went wrong. I didn't mean to leave it there. I didn't notice it because with the brightness of the outside, you can't see it. It's a negative emitting light, so by the time it's finished rendering, it goes red, or it can be blue, or it can be green, whatever you choose. But negative numbers in an emission steals light from the scene, and then you get that stain. But as you can see, we've got the God rays coming in from the light because I put a volume box around the whole thing here. I'd love to open this blend for you, but it takes forever because of all the grass that's here. But yeah, that's that. That's my derelict little house. And then the other thing that you can do, so we'll delete the floor, we'll go into front view, and we will take away this whole wall. I have not selected that, I've selected the other wall as well. Yes, this would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Hide that wall. We'll just delete these because I'm not saving this file anymore because I've already got one saved with this in it that takes the mic to load. Then this here, I'm just going to take off the booleans because I don't want no booleans in it. Oh, I see. I want to select them all, select that brick, close the booleans off, and then Control L, copy modifiers. So now we've got the brick wall, which shouldn't have the boolean in it. But can we delete this? Delete the mortar. I never applied these though. Oh, I know why. Alt H. Delete, delete, delete. I mean, these shouldn't take so long. Oh yeah, because I've only hidden the wall. That's fine. Delete these two, delete this one. Right, now we're back to a normal wall. Select them all. Control L, link. modifiers. There we go. So we're now back to a single brick wall. But the problem is, because they're all loose, we don't want to do this with loose bricks, so we will select them all. Control J to join them, I think. Yeah, because I did this last time with the array modifier still attached and everything else, but I do not no longer have the original brick wall, and to be honest, what I could do is file, recover, revert, because we've been through all that anyway, so we'll just revert. File, revert, revert. So we're back to the single brick. There we go. So this is a cool thing you can do with these bricks. Add modifier. A new curve modifier right at the end of everything else. Shift add mesh circle. I'll leave it as a circle on the floor here, like so. Then we click the brick and the mortar. I'll not use the mortar. You just apply it the same way with the mortar. Select, Control L, copy modifiers once you've actually done it. This one I will select the curve. That's not a curve, is it? Shift add curve circle. There we go, that's much better. So we select the bricks. We then tell it we want to be on the circle, and you see how it jumps out to the outside edge. So now what happens is, if I take it, the brick, what we are doing is we are modifying on the deform axis of X. If we modify on the deform axis of Z, it will lay the bricks down. And if we do on the Y, it will stand the bricks up, like so. Why is this important? If we take this one, which is the X deform length, grab it, you see how we're going up on the, it's going up on the Z, but because it's rotated, that's actually on the X. And if we take the Z one, it will stagger them out like so. Kind of what we want, kind of not what we want. So we'll go back to the brick. We will go to the deform axis of Z for now, X, sorry. As we grab it on the X, notice something weird happening. It's chewing all the way around. Now if we'd done this correct, when we do this last one, it almost clips just right. So we select the circle in the middle there, scale it just with shift, just so it looks right. So it looks right. Nothing more, nothing less. It's roughly right. Control A, scale, happy days. So now we've got a nice little circle of bricks. But what does this mean? Well, that means then we can grab on the Z. And now we have a little fire pit, or some sort of chimney, or some sort of round building. And we've had to put zero effort into actually building it. But it gets a little bit more weird than that. Because then what we can add is another curve. And we will go with a Bezier curve. And it is like so. So we'll rotate on the Y by 90. So now it's standing up. We'll grab it on the Z until we're somewhere roughly about the bottom there. Then what do? We select the bricks. We duplicate this one. Shift duplicate. Well, just because I duplicated the curve modifier, I've told it to curve on the X and I've told it to curve on the X again. Now we've got a weird heart shape of bricks. I mean, if your heart looks like that, that's fine. But that's the only problem is it does deform them badly. You can get around that by adding planes underneath them, underneath the bricks themselves, and then instancing the planes around the outside. But say for example I've done that, now I can do this on the Z-axis. And look at that. Instead of having a thing, which was originally just a pipe like so, now we have a pipe like so, a little 90-degree pipe. And then if we grab that on the Z, it will duplicate them all the way around until we end up with a donut of bricks, which I don't know if that's something you'd want to do. Or you could grab it on the Z until you end up with literally 90 degrees worth of brick pipe. Grab Z. Very gently does it. It jumps over for some reason, I don't know why. But as you can see, as you come to the center here, it gets infinitely small. It's not what we need. So anyway, again, we're getting on the digressions because crazy stuff happens. So this one, we tab onto this. We'll grab this on the Z by a lot. No, just the top one. Grab it on the Z, and then extrude it on the X, and then extrude it on the Z, and then extrude it on the Y until I can see it popping out the back there. Press A, control points, recalculate handles, and then we've got it coming up, bending over, bending round, and bending over the top there. So this one, instead of going on the Z, oh no, sorry, we want to be on the Z, I think, because if we've done it right, it should work. And instead, we go for the Bezier curve. It will jump to the top there, which is not what we wanted. So what if I go on the Y? Nope. What if I just go with the X again? Yep. So the X is now pointing, it's twisted it, so it's now pointing this down, but that is probably because this is rotated. So Control A, rotation. Now it's rotated that way. Go back to here. When we go to the Z, it should drop back down. Yep, so it's going to face us. So do I want to go on the negative Z instead? Nope. So I will go on the Z. And then, as we take this and we grab up on the Z, you notice how it's coming towards me. And then as we keep going up on the Z, it starts to bend around, bend around, bend around. And look at that. Now if you're a bit more careful with your bends and your curves, you won't get this weird pinching going on here. Because I've just roughed it up, basically. But that's a great way to get yourself some weird pipes that then you can animate by just moving the empty. Or you could have it like so, and then grab this on the Z, and just snake it around it. And away it goes. I don't know. That's something you want to do. So that's that. And finally, what I'll do is I'll go link append. You know, learn how to append here as well. And my thing was it bricks? Brick tutorial. I want that one. I want for I think it was bricks. Texture. Oh, materials. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag all these ones in, append them all. As you can see, because I've appended the materials, it needs to bring the shapes. This doorway had a material, that doorway had a material, that doorway had a material, but mostly all I want to do is concentrate on the brick. So we come here, we go to this material, we scroll down until I find the brick-ish material that I had. Bollocks to you, Blender, it's frozen. So as you see, these are white. So if I just bring this up, go to shader editor, I think it was material 1. That's the original red brick. That's glass, I think. No, that's glossy. Come out material view. Yeah, that's glossy. That one? Nope, that's black stuff. That one's invisible. This one. Right, that one was the mortar. As you can see, it's kinda mortar-like. Now I'm not sure why. Let's have a look at face orientation for a second. It's all blue. Oh, I know why that is, because there is light here. There we go. So I'll just turn off Seeing World so you can see everything. As you can see, that's kind of almost like a mortar-y kind of colour material. So where's the bricks then? It must have been material 5. Nope. 2. Nope. That one. Yeah, it was this one. So as you can see, we've got scuffed up white madness. This is basically because it's all one thing. So once you are finished making your pipe and everything is how you want it, you need to apply, 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 apply. So everything is now a fixed shape. So this would have been curved round. That is now a thing. Tab, right click, separate by loose parts. Notice how now we've got red ones, white ones, red ones, red one, white one, white, red, red, white, white, and so on and so forth. That's because of this here. So if I just drag this up just a little bit, we could even change that to a bluish colour. Looks a bit better. So that's the material output there. This is a displacement node I had added to the original materials, which here has got the bump to make the texture stand out. But if I add the displacement, what you'll notice is Blender will have a hissy fit. Things will start to get a little bit bluer, and not 100% certain why that is. But then we can scale this by 0.5, and the bricks start to get a little messed up. But maybe they won't because Eevee. When did it get into Eevee? There we go. Look at that. Absolutely messed up brick madness. So this is 0.15 again. Go into material view. You can't see it very well. Basically, as you can see there, you'll end up with a hodgepodge of bricks, 0.015. Basically, if you just make this a real low number while the displacement's in, what you'll notice is each brick then takes on its like slightly cut there, or a little gap here, a little gap here, a little gap here, and not much gap there. It basically looks like it was put together by someone who was drunk. Gives it a bit of character. And if you were to say like add a subdivision surface modifier to them, then it could crunch them up into Yorkshire stone or something like that. But yeah, that's what, an hour and 15 minutes nearly. I hope you're happy that we've made a brick wall finally. I'm happy that we've made the brick wall. I've managed to show you how to make a pipe, and then showing you a potential procedural texture of sorts that takes into basically colouring the bricks into what you'd more see on a house. Because not every brick is the same colour and not every brick is red in a house most of the time. Let's see if I can walk you through this node setup without making you sick. That there is attached to nothing, so I can remove that. These are shift and right click to snap them together. These two, these are mapping nodes, that's to do with that. Right. So, I'm sure, oh yeah, it's there. I was just about to say I'm sure I had something else positive. I had it there, which I have. Right, so what happens is, on here we take a random value, and we plug the random value into divide by 0.68. I am not sure why I came up with that number. I think it was more to stop it from being like that multicoloured. It was just where it ended up being a nice amount of red and whites. And then that value goes straight into the hue rotation, so that it rotates the hue of the bricks just slightly. Then the saturation of the bricks literally becomes random from the object, so each brick has its own saturation value, and the amount that it changes is there. And the colour is the original colour that goes up into there, which then goes off into the base colour. Then this colour here goes into the emission, and the emission strength is driven by a noise texture. Basically, that's because when I had it as a pipe, it's very hard to see stuff, and in the pipe, having a little bit of emission helped a lot with the render. Not very realistic, but who cares? It worked. Because if I take the emission color off and then the emission shader off, you know how. Okay. Maybe I've been cheating myself. Maybe minus 68 is no good. Just keep going. Yeah. Okay. So I cheated myself. Do not do that then. leave it in the emission, or is it that? And that kind of works. Take away the volume. Right, okay, so we can just change the saturation and you will get some nice stuff going on. I can't believe I'd actually done that by having that plugged into there. I've been cheating myself all along, thinking, oh look at them, they're really nice bricks, when realistically they're green bricks. Yeah, so what happens is, from here we take the texture coordinates from the object into the vector. That vector then feeds this Musgrave, which feeds this noise texture, just gives you an absolutely messed up time of a messed up way of things going. Because this noise texture has been driven by this Musgrave texture, which is this has been told by this where to be. There the values there, 4D, so that you can just change this W value at whim, and the same with this one, so now it's a different building every time you change that in a way, kind of thing. So what I would have had that is into the object random, so that each brick gets its own little randomness, because not every brick is printed from the same press, so to speak. Then that goes into the colour, and then as I say, that goes into the emission. The emission strength comes from the noise texture alone, and then the hue saturation value goes up into there, which we covered. The normals of this come from a bump map, which come from the noise texture and this, and this, and that basically just gives it like some procedural depth. So this is higher than this is lower than the black, if you was to look at it just an angle, and then the white stuff is sat just proud a little bit. Maybe you can see it through here, I'm not sure. Because the strength is actually 1 and 1. Then, off the same mapping object, we've got the W, which gives it just a bit of randomness, and then this vector here, which goes to the height, which goes to displacement, which goes to displacement here, which is just basically smoke and mirrors. Give it a little bit of roughness, a little bit of specular to give it a bit of shine, even though 0.5 is actually standard, so if we drop that completely off, now we've got a bit better bricks to go completely full rough. Here's some good bricks, but they take forever. And then if we go across into Eevee, basically, it's trash, in my opinion. Eevee does not do a great job at much at all. But then again, I'm probably using it wrong. So that is how I textured the wall. That there. I mean, if you want the blend file to mess around with, I can turn off all modifiers. Well, I would if I hadn't applied all the modifiers just then to make this happen. What I'll do is I'll file, revert. In fact, no. What I'll do is, if you do want the blend file, I'll make a new one and I'll make it available somewhere. Just ask in the description and I'll drop it in there. But as I say, that's what now, an hour and 20 minutes of your day I've just wasted. It's 10:15. It's getting pretty late, and I've got one other thing to go do, which I can show you with this. Where did I put it? Just bear with me 1 second. It's in documents. In fact, yeah, I'll show you a couple of things. In here, as soon as you've made it to the end, get a little bit of a treat. So this here is that full screen? Yep. So that there is a watercolor scene that I'd made, procedural mountains, trees added in there, ocean modifier to make the ocean. That's a bucket. Some of you may know what this bucket kind of means. That's the warehouse, using the same bricks that we just made, apart from instead of staggering them, I made them flat, so the breeze blocks built on top of each other, black for no reason. Marble floor using a very similar process to the bricks. As you can see, modelled some bits and pieces to go in there. This here is just a little crappy scene. They're all Minecraft crap. they're procedural robots that I've made. Um, these are procedural seeds that I've made. If you're interested, just let us know. Um, that's the same procedural landscape as before, just a bit better. This is a procedural landscape inside the bricks that we've just made for no reason at all. This is another one. It's basically a watercolor scene kind of thing, just the mountains, sea. It's done literally by displacement modifiers from scattered assets, and jobs are good. And there's a BMW M40 iDrive in nature. BMW. It's very grassy. It's electric. Who cares? Another procedural robot, heat maps, seeds. That's what I was actually coming to show you. This here is an absolutely messed thing. Um, I don't know if you think it looks alright. I don't mind it. The hair's a bit messy, but yeah, there you go. There he is, outside the box. You can now play with it. Go throw it into a wall. More renders of things. That's Clyde. You've seen him in one of my videos before. Um, disregard that. That's not from my phone. Yeah, so I'll show you the messed up thing actually. So I will go to open, don't save this, this one, allow execution. So, as you saw then, I've actually messed with this a little bit the other day, didn't mean to. So if I undo this, this here is the base of the model. And if I come through and I put on the fur, and go to render view, so we're in edit mode, tab out of edit mode, render view. As you can see, it's got some fur there, but I've kind of messed it up. 0.5. Yeah, the whole file's kind of ruined. I don't know why. Um, I don't know what I did wrong to make it do that. But if I come into the modifiers, you can see there's quite a few modifiers on here. Turn off. Sorry, turn on the remesh. Will that help? Right, okay, so we'll look at it from this one. As you can see, he's got webbed hands. So turn off the particle system. You can't see anyway. Turn off the remesh. It'd help if I actually selected the correct one, wouldn't it? Particle system on, particle system on. Now it is furry. Right, anyway, turn these particle systems off. And then it is literally just attached to an armature. So I'll hide this one, select this one, make sure these are all turned on. Then unhide it. And because I just changed the size of it, well, yeah, that's messed. It's like a penguin. Particle system off. As you can see, I've messed with the shape of him, whatever you want to call it, for the worse, because I was just testing things out. But again, so we've got webbed hands, webbed fingers. If we turn off the remesh, now we've just got absolute sausage fingers, and that's basically how I'd modelled this thing with sausage fingers. And then when you come to remesh it, it kind of helps, fixes it, but I didn't want to go much slower than that because it'll crash. Remesh off. Blender's starting to hate this. I don't want to take much more of your time. Oh, it's because I clicked that, didn't I? Right. Oh, I never thought about using block. Oh, no, yeah, it's too cubic. Right, anyway, we'll turn the remesh off, so we've got the sausage fingers and the face. If we turn off the subdivision surface modifier, this is actually the model. It's very blocky, very square, but the subdivision saved you because of the Catmull Clark. Then we come to take the skin off. Now, this might freak you out a little bit because you'd think, oh, well, that's quite a bit of geometry to actually pull around. What I'll do is I'll turn the meta rig back on so you can actually see. Disregard the arm, this should be down here. Disregard the kinky leg, should also be straight down. But as you can see, it's always on top, but the finger follows the finger, the finger follows the finger, the finger, and then the thumb. Bear that in mind, yeah? So it's quite a square, blocky monster of a thing. If we turn off the skin, there's nothing. Nothing at all. So I'll go into front view, and as I say, if you remember the finger, and so on and so forth, I'm just going to hide the meta rig for a second. hide the camera. That's that's it. That's the mesh that I'd modelled. But there's more. One final modifier. That's all I did. I literally went single vertices, extrude. So I started here with single vertices, extruded up the mesh of the armature, across the mesh of the armature, extruded up into the neck, extruded across into the centre of the brain, up, across for the nose, up all the way up to the top of the head, and then out for the ears. And then on the hand, I just extruded and copied the shape and the outline of the armature, and then I extruded down, 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 and then down some more until I ended up at the bottom, and then I created this one as the skin's mark route. And then all you need to do is Control A. Excuse me. Where's the skin? There we go. As you can see, it's now messed up. Control A. See how it changes the width and the thickness? If I put the mirror modifier back on, it'll sort it out. But yeah, that's how easy it is to actually model a form, character, that kinda semi-legitimately looks like a thing. Again, when it stops freezing. An hour and 26 minutes, I don't think it's too bad. What's just crashed? Why? I don't know why it's trying to render. Anyway, yeah, there you go. So if we go through to render view, as you can see, he's just a white little guy, full of white hairs, and then we can just literally select this material and turn him into the weird orange thing that was inside the box in the picture, which is these cubes up at the top there. I don't know if that's something you want to learn how to do. I've just shown you how to do it. Literally just extrude some vertices, add on a billion modifiers, and it eventually comes out looking like that. With eyes, nose, and a mouth, and whatever else you want to add to it. But I have not bothered with that one because that's the original base mesh. Just in case you ever needed to change it, this one was the secondary mesh, and then we've got the spheres here for the nose and the eyes, and then the cube here for the box, and camera, and another cube to light up the inside of the box, and then we can hide the meta rig, and then, yeah, ta-da! We've now got a guy in a box lit up on a stand. So yeah, that's today's quick tutorial. Um, I say quick, it's been an hour. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go research into the next one, see if we can make some cool stuff. I will catch you later. Sorry it's been so long. Bye bye.